If you've been watching my videos, of course, you know that most of what's being given to us from Las Vegas is simply not true. It's a lot of fictitious, made-up stuff. Appears to be a lot of lies and deception going on. And last night, I put the spotlight on the security guard, Mr. Campos. And he supposedly is this hero that tried to get into the 32nd floor area, which he in fact did, according to police. And the timeline and all changed, of course. Originally, they had stated that he ran into this area and near the doorway there at the time that the shooter was shooting. But they changed their story, and they said that this didn't happen. They said now that it occurred, 6 minutes before the shooter started shooting. So that's a huge change, of course, right there, according to what they originally said. Now, how they could get that wrong, I don't know. But, yeah. So that just didn't make sense at all. I don't know how they could go public with that information, something that critical in regards to the investigation. I mean, that just makes no sense at all. But, yeah, so that's what they're saying now. But this guy is supposed to be a hero, the security guard, which... I've shown you evidence also where it appears that he's not even registered with the state as a security guard. And from what I understand, the hotel records don't even show him working there or working there that day. So a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense here. That's what we've got going on. Last night I put this video up in regards to, this is so crazy. Thursday he was supposed to do a news conference with 5 big news sources. And one of them was Fox News, I believe. And so he came there, and he's supposedly prepared. They coached him, apparently, for like 4 days, I understand, because a lot of stuff's made up, so they had to make sure he was to say what he was supposed to say and not say what they didn't want him to say. The same thing they're doing with the sheriff. You can see how the sheriff is so nervous and about at all these news conferences because they're coaching him and watching him like a hawk. And so apparently Campos got scared, and he bolted. Just minutes before he was to do all these interviews, he bolted. Disappeared. Nobody had any information on him, knew where he went. And that's odd, too, because, I mean, if he bolted, I find it, I want to say this. It appears that the news organizations that give us all these lies, fake news and all this, they seem to be in on this also. And how do I know that? Well, it's very evident because it's just 2 weeks after the deadliest modern-day mass shooting in the history of the United States. I mean, this is huge. This is huge from what they're saying. 58 people killed, like hundreds injured, and yet all of a sudden all the main news sources are not even talking about this story anymore. They're not trying to investigate it. They're not trying to ask questions. That makes no sense at all. So what does that tell you? What I've been telling you a long time, that the government has the ability to squash this, to tell them what to do. And if they want a news story not to be talked about, then that's what the direct order they give to these large news organizations, and that's what they do. They adhere and accept the demands, like a dictatorship type thing going on. It's crazy. It really is. Because it makes no sense that they're not even talking about this anymore. I mean, you can go to most of these, like CNN, MSN, these different ones. You can go look at their web page, their main web page, and they've got dozens of news stories at the top of it. Dozens of them. And I've shown you pictures of that, and yet they're not talking anything about the deadliest mass shooting in modern-day history that occurred just about 2 weeks ago. This makes no sense at all. But, so yeah, this doesn't make sense at all, too. Think about this. Okay, so this man shows up. This is the most wanted man by the press that I've known on ever. I mean, this mystery man that we know hardly anything about, this security guard, Campos, everybody wants to interview him. I mean, if you get an interview with this guy, the video is going to be so viral it could break YouTube records. That's how big this is. We want to know who this man is. Is he really a security guard? What's his story? We want to hear what he has to say. Nobody knows what he has to say. Don't even knows how he talks. Hopefully he can speak English, I guess. But yeah, it would be like the biggest news story. That's why everybody wants it. So this, you mean to tell me that this man is there getting ready to do 5 interviews, right? And he's there with his representative from the union, and all of a sudden he bolts and gets out of there, and there's not one news reporter that's watching him and would follow him and figure out where he went or why he bolted. I find that so ridiculously hard to believe. Somebody would have been watching and eyeing this man wherever he is, and somebody would have seen him come into the hotel. I don't care where they put him, in a secret room or whatever. Somebody would have seen him come to that hotel. They would have been waiting by that door for him to come out to try to get questions before he even started these interviews. This is common sense. And then if he bolted, I don't care if he's fast. I don't care how fast he bolted or how fast he can run. And he's a fairly big guy, so I don't think he can run that fast. But if once he came out of that door, wherever he is in that hotel, because they said he was there ready to do the interview, there would have been several reporters following him and chasing him down to figure out where he's going and why he's leaving. There's no doubt about that. Yet there's not one person that saw him leave or follow him. Now, really, come on. Did they really think that we're that stupid? This is ridiculous. So, yeah, trying to find out more information about him, and maybe he'll come forward soon. I don't know. Maybe he'll vanish and we'll never see him. Maybe he doesn't even exist. Maybe he's fictitious. There's so much bull they're giving us. It's hard to tell at this point. But I'm exposing this stuff. You know I'm going after it. And I'm going to stay on this story because you deserve the truth and we deserve the truth. It's important to our country. Some of this stuff they're using to try to take away our Second Amendment and constitutional gun rights and our gun rights and all kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we can't allow this because, this country is about we the people. It's not about a dictatorship or controlling us and trying to rule us. And we got to stop this now. So, now look at this picture right here of him. This is where he went to this, I guess, like some type of award ceremony or something in regards to what he did as supposedly being this hero. And you see him there with his glasses on. I mean, does this guy really look like a security guard to you? I don't know. He doesn't to me. And I'm not putting down security guards because we got great security guards, and some of them a lot of them, as they get older, they're retired from the military or they are as a police officer or law enforcement or something, and they decide to make a little extra money and go be a security guard. So security guards, I'm not putting any security guard down. They do a great job many times, and they're wonderful to have. It's just something about this guy that doesn't look like a security guard. I don't know what it is. I mean, look at him. Seriously. He almost looks like, I don't know, a mob guy or somebody that's, and what is that? Look at the center of his, that's interesting. I didn't even notice that. Look at the center by his tie there. He's got some type of badge hanging down. That doesn't look like a security guard badge. You see it right there by his tie with that silver chain? I don't know. I just noticed that. But anyway, yeah, almost like I don't know. Almost looks like somebody that would be a part of a bad organization. And I won't even mention the T word, but yeah, what do you think? I mean, it's just something, it's an intuition thing. It's an intuition thing. Sometimes you just look at somebody, you can see the character, the integrity, whether they have it or not, and also the deception. And there's something about this that just screams deception when I look at this guy. And I'm good at this, and some people know what I'm talking about right there. I don't know, something's not right. They're not telling us the truth about this. And here he is accepting his award. Now you can see that whatever that is around his neck. I don't know why, but that just does not look like a security badge to me. Security badges are normally silver. That one kind of looks gold. And the reason they do it silver security badges is because police sometimes often have the gold in different types. And it just, they try not to make security badges... security, yeah, that emblem there. They try not to make it look like police because they don't want to do that. But that one looks kind of like a police one. I don't know. So there he looks like, I don't know who all those people are with there. I guess people part of that union. And there they are having what looks like a mob dinner. I mean, it's just so crazy. Oh, boy. And he's over there on the right, you see, with his white shirt and dark tie and the glasses. The guy in the middle has his arm around him. And this doesn't make sense at all. And I've exposed so many things in regards to this, and I'm going to keep doing it that don't make sense. Right now I'm just focusing on this security guard because we don't know who he is, where he went. He's like a mystery. And right here, the sheriff said that this is crazy. The sheriff said that when the security guard Campos was in the hallway going towards apparently Paddock's room. They claim Paddock's the shooter, which I don't believe that either. I expose that in my other videos that are going viral, of course. But yeah, it says right here that there's over 200 rounds of bullets fired into the hallway right there when Campos was approaching that room, that room. And these rounds are supposedly shot out of the door, which I showed you in the video. It does not look like there's any 200 rounds were shot out of that door. And actually, if you look at the door closely, which you've seen in my videos, it looks like the bullets were shot from the outside of the door into the hotel room, which contradicts what they're saying. I don't know. It's so crazy. But yeah, but if 200 rounds were shot out of that door towards the security guard, and all they got was like one bullet in the leg, that makes no sense at all. That would have killed this man. It would have annihilated him. If this man, if Paddock was shooting 200 bullets out of that door towards a security guard, he surely probably would have been dead. It would have been a miracle if he survived. And to get one bullet wound in the leg, that makes no sense at all. He could have got more bullets in him with a handgun. And this guy is shooting either a semi-automatic rifle at him with over 200 rounds. Come on, really? We're not that stupid, okay? This don't make no sense at all. This is I don't know. This is ridiculous. And here you see, which is interesting also, here you see, it says, let's see, oh, yes, Campos, look at the middle part of this. It says Campos was seriously wounded by one of 200 rounds fired in the suite. This is the official from the union, the official union thing right here. You can see it says Campos was seriously wounded by one of 200 rounds fired from the suite. He was seriously injured by one of 200 rounds on the suite. That just makes no sense at all, because that even contradicts, of course, what the news story coming out of the sheriff says. I never heard that he was seriously injured, and they're saying he received one gunshot, but they're saying 200 rounds were fired into the suite. That's just total contradiction. Makes no sense at all. And of course, the confusion began around Monday when police said that the gun was fired at the security guard Campos, and they completely changed their timeline. Originally, of course, like I stated earlier, they said that it was during the time that the Paddock was shooting, but that contradicts what they said earlier, because now they changed their whole timeline into 6 minutes, which makes no sense at all. But yeah, 200 rounds on the 32nd floor. And so yeah, leave your comments and thoughts on this. Share. Police chief says that they found 200 incidents of Paddock moving through the city. There was no evidence he was with anyone else. That is crazy. That means they're saying likely this has probably got to be video footage, I imagine, from cameras at different, maybe, who knows, hotels, casino areas, restaurants, stores. I don't know where all they are, because he doesn't go into details of it. But that's a lot of incidents. 200. And yet, I find that really interesting, because they're not showing us any of this. And they're also not showing us any video footage of Paddock in the hotel. They're not showing us any video footage of Paddock anywhere in the hotel, and not showing us any video footage of the hallway where all this went down. No evidence of that. None. Which makes no sense at all also. And wouldn't you think that and I don't doubt that there could be 200 incidents of Paddock, moving about in Las Vegas, because there's cameras everywhere in Las Vegas, right? So that is a possibility, and I'm not saying that's not possible, but what's interesting about that is, since this is such a big news story, don't you think somebody, maybe even somebody that has a home personal camera that captured him, I don't know, or business or something, don't you think somebody would have released that video? I don't see any video. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's releasing any video of Paddock moving around in Las Vegas. Don't you find that really odd? They're claiming 200 incidents of him likely on video, and yet there's not one been shown to the public on a YouTube video, a news story, nothing. Don't you think at least a few people would have said, hey, we've got Paddock, we know, because they know what he looks like now. We have him in our store on this street in Las Vegas, or at our restaurant, or at our business, And we just shared this with the news agency, or we went on YouTube and put it there. Not a one, but there's 200. Come on now, this doesn't make sense. There's something not right about this. Don't you agree? So yeah, I just wanted to add that little bit, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks for the support.